can I ask you something honest? If someone told you there was a person who genuinely cared about you, who knew everything you were going through, who'd promised to show up through thick and thin, but you'd never actually seen them, never heard their voice, never had any real proof that they existed, would you trust them? I'm guessing not. And that's a completely reasonable response. I want to spend a few minutes on a question that Isaiah chapter 40 raises, and that I think a lot of us carry around but don't always say out loud. Can you really trust a God you can't see? Because here's the thing. Trusting what you can't see goes against everything we're wired for. We trust what we can test, what we can measure, what we can check. If a bridge looks dodgy, you don't just close your eyes and drive across it hoping for the best. You look for evidence. You want to know whether it's going to hold. And when it comes to God, a lot of people have done exactly that. They've looked for evidence and they haven't found anything convincing. Or they've put their trust in something they were told was solid and it hasn't held and they got hurt. I think that's worth taking seriously. It's not a stupid objection. It's actually the only honest starting point. Isaiah 40 was written to people in exactly that position. God's people had been through a catastrophe. Their city was destroyed. They'd been taken into exile, carried off to a foreign country. And the question underneath everything was, where is God in all of this? Has he forgotten us? Can he even be trusted? And into that very real suffering, real doubt, real loss, this passage speaks. It doesn't start with an argument. It doesn't say, here are 5 handy reasons to believe. It starts with a voice, and the voice says, comfort. Comfort my people. Now you might think, well, it's just words, isn't it? I mean, anyone can say comforting things, and you'd be right to push back on that. But then the passage does something very interesting. It starts stacking up evidence about the kind of God who's speaking. It says his word endures forever, which is a claim worth examining because everything else the passage says is temporary. The grass withers, the flowers fade. The things we build our lives around, health, success, relationships, plans, they don't last. We know that. We feel it. But this voice says, what I say, what I promise, what I commit to, that doesn't fade. It holds. And at the end of the passage, there's this image of a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms. He carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that are struggling. Now that's a very specific kind of God, not a distant, indifferent force, not a cosmic judge waiting to catch you out. This is someone who moves towards the weakest ones, who picks those up who can't keep up. I find that image striking because it's not what you'd invent. It's if you were designing a religion to impress people, you'd make your God powerful and triumphant, not tender with the ones who are struggling. So can you trust a God you can't see? I'm not going to tell you the answer is obvious. It isn't. Trust always involves risk. You can't get to certainty before you commit. That's not how trust works with anyone, seen or unseen. But what I will say is this. The God that Isaiah 40 describes, the one who speaks comfort into suffering, whose word outlasts everything that fades, who carries the ones who can't cope, that God is at least worth a serious look, not blind faith, not just taking someone's word for it, but genuinely asking, is there something here? Is this actually true? Because if it is, it changes everything about what you can do with the things you can't hold together on your own. Isaiah 40 is a very old passage, but it was written for people who felt exactly what a lot of us are feeling right now. And the question it's asking is simply this. What if you can be trusted? What would that mean for you?